So when you're scrolling through Facebook Marketplace and you're looking throughout the entire country like I do for shipping deals, it's truly an ocean of listings. If you click on everything, you'll never get anywhere. You'll just spin your wheels and waste your time. Ideally, we would all know the market prices of everything and we would all be walking encyclopedias, but that's not reality. The reality is you have to take some mental shortcuts to know which listings are worth clicking on to check out. See, when you're learning a new language, it's very unlikely that you're going to look up every single new word you hear in the dictionary. Maybe some people do this, but it's probably not the most efficient way. You're going to use mental shortcuts, patterns, and context clues to assume what these new words mean. I do the same thing with Facebook Marketplace flips. The first clue I want you guys to look for is a nice round price. I'm talking $50, $100, $200. If you see $199.99, don't even bother clicking on that listing. You are not getting a good deal. Here's an example. So look at this Fluke TIS65 thermal camera. The seller initially had it listed for $1,475 and then cut it down to $1,325. So a couple of red flags here that this is not a good deal, but the main thing is the insanely specific pricing. If you land on a price like $1,325, it's likely that you did significant market research. You're trying to extract every single penny of value that you can out of this item, and there's going to be no meat left on the bone for anyone trying to flip something like this. Another pricing tip, avoid placeholder prices or free prices, listings for $1 or $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. These are all placeholders meant to ignite bidding wars among buyers so that the seller can wait it out for the best offer. You're not going to get in and snipe a deal like this. Here's a special edition black 3DS console. You guys know I flip stuff like this all the time. But again, it's not just about the item category. Look at the price here, $310. Even if you don't know exactly what this console is worth, it's very unlikely that someone who's just motivated to get rid of this thing for any price is going to come to $310. That's a specific number, and it suggests they did market research and that they're going to wait it out for the highest offer. The second clue I want you guys to look for is that everything is sold together. Nothing is parted out or sold individually. And alongside that, maybe not everything is included in the main photo. And by that I mean maybe there's hidden value in the third, fourth, or fifth picture of the listing. This is a Nintendo Switch bundle I found on Facebook Marketplace in Connecticut. I had it shipped to me in Houston. I actually ended up having to pay $150 for all this to be shipped to me. The seller was asking $100. Luckily, everything sold together on eBay for about $300, so I still made a pretty good profit on it. But let's look through this listing here. This was the main listing photo. This was what everyone saw on Marketplace when they scrolled past. This was the main thumbnail. You can see it's a fairly unattractive picture of just a Nintendo Switch tablet that's powered off, the Joy-Cons are removed, doesn't appear to be any games. The title is fairly lazy, Nintendo Switch. And then you scroll to this was actually the last photo. She includes all these great high value games. The Joy-Cons look to be in great condition. They even have the straps. Accessories are included. This was buried at the end of the listing. I bothered to scroll all the way to the end and saw that these games were significantly valuable. So this is an example of something that's all sold together. Some sellers would have parted these games out and said each game is $20 or each game is $35. You're not going to make any money like that. You want people who are selling things all as a bundle because it suggests that their motivation is to just get rid of it and they're not so concerned about the price they get. The third clue I want you guys to look for is that there are no technical terms in the title or the description, and there may even be an incorrect item name or description. This is a listing I found in Staunton, Virginia. I had this shipped to me in Houston, and I ended up paying $100 for this total. They wanted $60, and I flipped it on eBay for $275. Notice the listing just says Nintendo DS as the title. There is no mention that this is actually a special edition Nintendo DS. This is a Super Mario Bros. White console. These go for a premium on eBay because they're rare. The seller had no idea of this, and if you know what you're looking at and you know that maybe this seller didn't quite do their market research, they just put a simple title in, I should look this up. Even if you don't know exactly what this is, there's AI now, there's Google Lens. You can take a screenshot of this and say, which type of DS is this? ChatGPT would most likely be able to tell you, and it would even spit out the market comps on eBay. The fourth clue I want you guys to look out for, and this is a big one, is a lazy, quick picture with a haphazard arrangement of items. So avoid professional appearing pictures or pictures where all the items are strategically organized and presented. Maybe you can even see a $100 add-on item hastily hiding at the bottom of a stack of games that the seller doesn't realize is valuable. Look at this listing here. This was a Nintendo 64 listing in North Carolina. There's a stack of games here, and you can't even really see the stickers. But if you know what you're looking at, you could even plug this into ChatGPT or something, and sometimes reading just half of these game stickers, it can tell what you're looking at. These cartridges could be worth $50 to $100 each. The seller didn't even bother to unstack them and show what everything is. There's a lazy title, just says N64, just says games. This Pokemon Stadium on top, that game cartridge can go for over $50 just by itself. Now here's an example of what to avoid. This is a professional appearing photo. This almost looks like it should be in a display case. This is the type of seller who wants to extract the most value they can out of their item. Maybe they're a collector. It's clear that they put effort into this listing, and even if you don't know what the market price is of this item, I guarantee you can assume that it is not going to have any meat left on the bone for you. Another thing to avoid is when people put timestamps with their name and date next to their item, which is great if you're looking for this item for the full market price and you definitely don't want to get scammed. That's a considerate thing for him to do. But I guarantee if someone took the time to write out a timestamp note with their name on it, they almost certainly looked up the price of that item as well. Here's another example of a lazy photo and title. This is a 2023 MacBook. It's kind of thrown onto the bed. The charger's all tangled up. There's a nice round price of $250. We all know these computers can have endless amounts of specs that all significantly change the value of the item. And the seller probably has not listed that in the description. They probably don't know that even if you ask them. And so your job is to extract information you need as efficiently as possible. So don't ask the seller, how much storage does it have? What processor does it have? Does it have Apple Care Plus? Try to figure out how you can ask one quick key piece of information to unlock all of that. For example, if you ask the serial number for certain items, you can unlock all of that information. Or if you ask for the About Me section of an Apple product, you can unlock a lot of information with just one question. Remember, these sellers are trying to get rid of this stuff with minimal effort. That's how we make our money. Don't make it hard for them. The last clue I want you guys to look for are fresh deals. Avoid stuff that's been sitting around for a while. Good deals usually sell within 20 minutes, sometimes faster. If you stumble upon something that was listed a week ago, I'm not saying it's totally hopeless. Like sometimes valuable stuff sits out there in a small town in some remote area, but chances are resellers before you probably tried and failed to make something work. And if there was any meat on the bone, they would have sealed the deal somehow. So here's an example of a Fluke ground meter. This is a great brand to flip. These items can be super valuable, and maybe you don't know what this is worth, but it was listed 9 weeks ago. The fact that it was listed 9 weeks ago and still hasn't sold should clue you in that this is either overpriced or the seller is just not willing to meet someone, or it's for some reason you cannot connect a deal to close for this lady. But anyway, guys, this is how, without knowing the market prices of everything, you can know which listings are worth your time to click on. These are tricks I use every day, and it gives me a huge edge on Facebook Marketplace. If you got any value from this, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot.